Well, this wouldn't be a Michelle tutorial if I didn't already mess things up. Hi there, Michelle here, also known as fancydinotparty, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be attempting to make a Kleenex box cover. If you're new to my channel and you like sewing, crafting, but mainly thrifting, why not subscribe? Like I said, I'm going to be attempting to make a Kleenex box cover. I've never made one of these before, but when I was a baby, I was gifted what, I don't know what was weird with the 80s and the 90s, but people would gift babies things that they have absolutely no use for. I think it was like a family friend or something like that. I was gifted a Kleenex box cover, but it's like the plastic and then it has like the yarn and creates like a cool, it's a design. So anywho, I always thought about it. To this day, I have no idea what happened to it. Really want to make my own because, to be honest, I don't like how Kleenex boxes look. Unless you spend money on like a good brand and you get cool patterns, I just go to No Frills and buy like the no-name brand. So anyways, I got my supplies from Michaels. What I picked up from Michaels are these grid sheets. I bought 4 of them. Is it way more than I need? Absolutely. But were they like less than $3 each? Yes, they were. So I had to buy all of them. They're just like plastic, and if you can kind of see, they're just like a grid, and you just take a needle, poke your yarn through, and make a pattern. So I bought 4 of these. I don't think I need 4. Always good to have extra just in case. Along with that, I ended up picking up these needles here. So they came in sizes 18 to 22. I wasn't too sure which one would fit, so I picked the variety pack. To be honest, I probably have these somewhere else amongst all my craft things, but was I going to take that risk and think I had it when in fact I didn't? No. So I ended up buying them, but I mean, needles are needles. They'll rig eventually, they'll get dull, you're gonna need to buy more. It's fine. It was a good investment. Also, while I was there, I ended up buying some yarn. They were $2.99, so $3, but regularly 5 something. And these aren't even the colors that I'm gonna use, although these are very cute colors. They're not the colors I'm gonna use or the yarn. It's way too thick. I'll probably just make some hats. I have a problem with yarn, so that is why I didn't have to pick up the colors for this project, because I already have I have so much yarn. Honestly, I will go to Michael's going to buy paint or something else, and I'll end up in the yarn section. I'll be like, hey, this color of yarn is gorgeous. I need to buy it. The colors that I want to use are like these ones here. There's this one, there's orange, and then there's pink, and then there's this like bright pink. So these are kind of the color scheme that I'm going for. Don't know what pattern I'm gonna do yet. I haven't figured that out. So I guess the only thing I need left is a Kleenex box, so that way I can measure it to this. So yeah, let's get into cutting these out to the shape. Maybe also finding a design that I like, because I haven't done that yet. Now, I wasn't too sure what type of box I wanted to make. There were so many cute patterns, and I know I wanted to do something more vintage, but honestly, when I saw this cake box, I knew I had to make it. I mean, look how many cute cake boxes there are. They're so adorable. And the one that I chose was this one to replicate. Usually I have a white backdrop, but because these are white, you can't really see them. So I'm doing this nice pink, but also I think it goes with the cake theme. Do the side first. So I'm gonna put it here, and then right there, I'm just gonna cut. So there's a slit there. So like right here, I'm gonna cut. Okay, and then that's cut to there. And then this one's here. All right, so that's one side. All right, so you see how that fits? It's a little bigger, but I think that's fine because when it sits down like this, like the tissue's still gonna be able to come up. So I'm gonna do is take that and just snip it right there. So I know that's that. So that's the height. So I just need the length now. Again, I want just a little bit bigger, not too much. And we have our one other side piece that we still have to cut out. So I've already measured it. Those 2 pieces, and now we have to do the top piece. Because the box that I'm making is going to be a little bit bigger than the actual Kleenex box, what I did was I laid out the side pieces so I could know the length and the width to cut the top out. All right, so now that all my pieces are done, I have to kind of figure out how to actually do this. Plan is I'm gonna use this color as the icing, this color as the frosting, and then I have this really bright red for the strawberries, and then I have to find a green. I know I have one somewhere, but I have to find a green to do the little, you know, leaves of the strawberry. Well, this wouldn't be a Michelle tutorial if I didn't already mess things up. You know this? You know this that I bought from Michael's? It's the wrong size. This is the first time I've ever used plastic canvas, and you know what? I didn't know it came in different sizes. I mean, it makes sense that it comes in different sizes, but Michael's only had one size, so I just assumed one size fits all. It doesn't. This is the one that I got from Michael's. It says 10 mesh. This is really tiny. So I ended up going to Walmart and buying this mesh. So this mesh here is a 7, and you can see the size comparison. First off, this is the Walmart one. This was like $3 for this gigantic thing, and this is the Michael's one, which was $3 for this little tiny thing. So if you're gonna do this, Walmart's the way to go. So, you know, after I bought all my stuff and I'm like, oh, like my needle isn't fitting through this. The research that I've learned now that will help you in the future is the size of the mesh goes from 14, 10, 7, 5. So, of course, it does the opposite. The 10, 14, this is a 10, the really fine, tight mesh, and the 5 and the 7 are this. So when you're gonna go out and make one of these, if you're gonna do it, and you're gonna use yarn, the 5 to 7 will do you just fine. The difference, like this is not what I needed, this is what I need. And we're just gonna recut everything out again. So now that I have all my pieces cut out, I'm going to be taking my string, some scissors, and the needle that I am going to be using. And then it all depends on how much you want. You can't just do it from like this from a normal crochet project, you have to cut it. So I'm just gonna cut it there. So the needle's there. Also, another thing what I ended up doing is I cut along all the edges so there's no like little pieces sticking out, just nice and flat. I'm just gonna take my needle, put it there, and just bring all the way through. But you have to leave a little tiny tail at the end, like that on this side. So this is gonna be our good side, and this is gonna be the not so good side. So we're gonna take this and we're gonna go diagonal. So we're gonna have a look of diagonal. Put it through. So this is kind of a tutorial, but also you can go online, there's probably better tutorials. And so what I wanna do is I wanna wrap this around this so like that way this isn't sticking out. You'll see what I mean when I'm done. I'm just gonna continue doing the exact same motion throughout the whole entire thing. So again, we're gonna start off at the bottom, pull through, and then we're gonna go through diagonal and then pull all of the yarn through. Boop, boop, boop. So it looks like that. And I'm just gonna continue doing this motion. You can see how they are going diagonal on the good side. And if I flip it over here, you see that the stitches are going like up and down. It's off camera because it's tedious, it takes time to do. I did all these little stitches here, but I wanted to show you the next step, and that is how to go this way. So in this one here, how we were going from left to right, we're now gonna be going right to left. So you just go up one, and then you're gonna go diagonal again, so this way here, and you're gonna go right into this square here. So just the top of the square here. We're gonna pull it through. So it's like that. Again, through the top, then go down. And then you just continue the process, and then again, when you get to this area, you move up, and you go over. And then that's it. That's the entire process of making all of these. That's it. I've been working on this for a few days already. It's gonna kind of look like this. As you can see, all the lines are going diagonal, and then on the back, they're going up and down. Now that our piece here is like completely done, what the next step is, we're gonna add like a nice border trim around the edges. Now, I don't know if this is necessary because I am going to be attaching them all, but you know what? I just want a finished look now. I'm gonna go right into this corner here. Just bring that forward. And again, we are going to be leaving that little bit of a tail. I'm going to go just under and over. So as you can see, where am I going? And each one I'm just going through one of these little squares. And this is what it looks like when I have the whole outline done. It definitely reminds me of one of those cookies that you dip in like hot chocolate or tea or whatnot. Now this is the good side, and this is what it looks like with the bad side. Now every single time I ran out of string, what I ended up doing was just tying the end of the one string to the new string, and like how we did earlier where we connected it at the bottom, I just did the exact same thing where I connected it onto the back so you can see where I added it in, and like this is the nice front. Now that all of the sides are all done, thank goodness. This took me 3 days to do. I know, 3 days to do this. I thought this would be the easy part, it is not. The next step is I'm gonna be working on the strawberries. I looked up a few, I was gonna say recipes. Baking a cake, of course, recipes coming into my head. I looked up a few YouTube videos on how to make strawberries, and I found some good ones, and what I kind of did is I took some like inspiration from each one and kind of did my own thing, because I don't know, I have a problem with following patterns. I'll follow it to a point and I'm like, nah, I'm gonna do something else. So that is what I did. So I'm gonna teach you how I did my strawberries. And again, this isn't really the best tutorial. This is more me figuring out if I can make this, because I'm obsessed with it now. But if you want to use these tips as a tutorial, go for it. So let's start with the strawberries. Now you might think, oh, like wouldn't the next step be to like attach all these? Yes, but my plan, hear me out, is that when I make the strawberries and I attach them to the top of this, I think it's a lot easier if I attach them while there's no sides on it. So I think the best option next is to make the strawberries, attach the strawberries onto here so I can like sew, and then I will attach it together, and then the frosting, and then I think that's it. For the strawberries, I'm going to be using this red and this green along with a 3.75 millimeter crochet hook. I think this is a 5. An F5 in the States, but here in Canada, I go by the 3.75 millimeter. Topsy is just moved everything. Isn't that what you taught? No, Toppy, no, that's not a toy. So to make my strawberry, you need to make a magic circle, which I honestly am so bad at remember how you're doing that I have to like watch a YouTube video every time before I make one. But anywho, I kind of remember from yesterday because I've already made some strawberries. So I've already made 5 of the 6 strawberries, but this is showing you how to make the strawberry. Make the magic loop like this, and then you spin it around your hand and you do that. Nope, did it wrong already. Okay, so like this, you get X marks the spot and over, and then you take your crochet hook and you do this, you pull through like that, and then you take this stuff, and then you also pull through. Ah, there we go. Okay, magic loop, done. All right, great. This is the loop. The next step is I'm going to stitch 6 single crochets into this magic loop. So, okay, and then I'm gonna take this tail, pull it through, and then close up the magic circle. And I'm gonna go through each stitch and do one more single crochet. Don't use the tail, make sure you're using the working yarn, not the tail yarn. Again, if you really wanna learn how to crochet, there is way better tutorials on how to do the basic stitches. I mean, heck, I have been crocheting for years, and just making this video, I learned the different types of crochet stitches. I was just, you know, playing it by ear for such a long time. I got this, people. Don't worry, I got this. I'm gonna be honest, I've not really kept account of what I'm doing. So if you are a crocheter and you're watching this and you're like, you skip stitches. I know, I'm trying to make a nice tutorial. I'm trying to tell you how to do this and I'm failing. All right, and now that I've gotten to this point, is I'm gonna do 2 stitches in every other one. So I'm gonna put 2 stitches in here, I'm gonna do 1 stitch here, 2 stitches in this loop, 1 stitch. You know what I mean? Okay, so as you can kind of see, I'm getting that dome shape that I want at the top. And now that I have like these many stitches, I don't know, it's probably 10 or 12, I'm going to just do a single crochet in each one of the loops for about, I don't know, 4 or 5 rows, I think. This is my first crocheting video, yarn video, which is so strange because yarn is like my favorite form of like crafting. So I think this is about the length I want. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take some stuffing from a pillow that is falling apart. Like the outside's falling apart, but the inside is completely fine. And I'm just gonna shove that in there. I think that might be a bit too much. Fill this puppy up. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start closing it off. And how to close it off is I'm gonna do a single stitch in every other one until I have like no stitches left to skip. Then after that, I'm just gonna cut this off, feed it through here, and just pull tight. And that's a little tiny strawberry. So these are my strawberries. They look like tiny little mice. If you are looking for a tutorial on how to make mice, use the strawberry. So for the leaf part, I'm gonna be using this green here. For this, I'm just going to be doing just the basic little loop that you would. Again, I wanna state, I am not the best crocheter. I kinda see things and I can mimic it, but I don't think I do the steps right. So keep that in mind. I'm going to chain 7. To make this leaf, I ended up looking on YouTube for a video, and what's surprisingly is that it was the same person that made the strawberry, but I took some like shortcuts. I'm not gonna do the same as hers because hers is more of a fuller leaf and I just want like a little leaf. So what I'm doing is what she did is she did like both sides of the leaf, but I'm gonna do like one side of the leaf and then add another leaf. You'll see what I mean when you see this. So after the 7 is chained, I'm gonna skip this one and I'm gonna go into this one here. Again, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna do a single crochet. Okay, then I'm gonna go into the next one and I'm gonna do a half double. And then next I'm gonna do a double. So like that, through 2. And then I'm gonna do another double in the next one. And then I'm gonna do a half double. And then I'm going to do a single in the last one, if I can do it, because honestly, so we do the single, there. So as you can see, that's one side leaf. And in the video, what she does is I think she goes back and she does the other side, so it's like a full leaf, but I like this for 1, and I wanna have 2. From right here, I'm going to chain another 7. And then I'm gonna do the exact same process that I did here to this one. So as you can see now, I have the 2 little tiny leaves, and I'm just gonna do like a few little stitches here just to kind of bring them together. Then again, cut that. Take this part here and bring it through. And there we go. Now that we have all these strawberries / mice done, it's time to connect them to here. So thinking like a strawberry here, strawberry there. So how I'm going to attach the strawberry and the leaf to the top of the box is I'm going to thread the tail ends of both pieces. Then I'm going to take the needle and puncture it through the top of the tissue box. And when all the little loose threads are on the other side, I'm going to knot them together. Okay, so now it's time to put these strawberries on. So I think because I did leave like the little mouse tail, and I'm just gonna stick it right in the center of that, pull it through, come on you. There. How's that look? Just like that. I'm just gonna take it and I'm going to just tie it to the green stem. So that's one strawberry. And all the little strawberries are attached to the top now. I definitely recommend you doing this step before you do the sides because it was so much easier getting my hands in there and tying the knots and everything. I could only imagine if I had to do it with the sides. These ones probably could have like moved over a bit, but you know what? I don't want to do it anymore. It's done. Time to attach everything together. So this step is going to be very similar to when I did the edges of here of the border. So just connecting the 2 pieces together like this. I found that the best method to join the sides was to sandwich the pieces together and then just stitch through both of them at once, just going under and over until it's done. See how nice those little stitches are? And again, they don't even have to be very perfect because I am going to be adding the frosting onto that. The next step is just to connect the sides like this and then do the exact same stitch. Just kind of stitch them together like this. And I'm just gonna continue doing this for the other side. All right, I have all the sides done, which is great. The inside, as you can see, is kind of a mess. So I noticed like my strawberries are kind of doing this now when I don't want them to do that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some green thread and go from the bottom through the leaf into here and kind of like secure them down. And then I'm just gonna go through like here And then I'm gonna go back into there. See, there we go. Nice and taut. All right, and the next step I'm gonna do is the icing slash frosting. That is going to be the trim up here as well as down here. The color I'm gonna use is this cute pink, be something called a bobble, which I learned yesterday how to do. I also strayed from the path on how they told me to do it and decided to do it my own way. So I'm gonna show you how I did that. All right, so to make the trim, I'm going to be using this pink and a 5mm crochet hook, which honestly, this is my favorite crochet hook, and I love working with metal crochet hooks. So if you're a crocheter or you wanna get into crocheting, I definitely think that the metal ones are just so easy to work with because it glides. So this is the bobble that I'm kind of talking about. You know how it looks like it's like puffing up, like it's puffy like that. To make this, I did 95 chains and it made 32 bobbles, which fits the standard Kleenex box. So if you're interested in knowing my dimensions, I'm also gonna write them in the description below. Okay, so we're gonna start off with our loop-de-loop. And then if you're gonna make a Kleenex box, you're going to chain 95, but I've already made my 2, so I'm just gonna chain a little bit. Okay, so I'm just gonna chain this. So when I got to the very end, what I ended up doing is just in this crochet here, I did 4 double crochets. I'm gonna do 4 right here, through 2. So I'm gonna leave this until I have 5 loops left on here. So I'm just gonna keep doing double crochets. So now I have 5 loops and I'm going to loop over 1 and pull through all of them. Then I'm gonna go into the next stitch, which is this one here. I'm gonna go through and I'm just going to do a single crochet. And then on the standard one that they were telling me to do, I go into the next one and do the same like double crochets. I like to skip it. So I did one here, a single crochet here, and then the next one I'm going to skip. And then I'm gonna go into this one, the one after I skipped, and I'm gonna do the same thing with all those double crochets. So this is how the bobbles kind of come out. I like that, because I think the other one, it's more if you're making like a sweater and you want like a big square of it, but I just want a chain. And now it's time to attach the ones that I've already made to this. So I'm gonna take the end of the bobble. I don't know what I'm doing, so this should be fun. Where's my string? Where's my needle? Oh, there it is. And I'm just gonna keep doing it for each bobble. Just bring it through. All right, and we have the bottom done. Honestly, I'm really surprised that I had just enough of these little bobbles to go around because I did not measure anything. I have to do the exact same thing, but to the top. Just pinned it down so it doesn't keep moving on me, which I think is probably a very smart idea, and I should have probably done it to begin with. The cake is looking really good, but I think what I'm gonna do as a final step, now you can do this step and you don't have to do this step. I think I'm gonna take some elastic and just do like an elastic loop around here, so when I put my Kleenex box in, I can like pick it up without the Kleenex box like coming out. I'm gonna cut some of these loose ends off. One here, and I think one here. So I'm just gonna pull it through. Here's the moment of truth. There we go. Oh, look at that. It's so cute. Done. Look at this. This is like the cutest thing that I have ever made, and I'm still like astonished that I made it. Like, do you ever get those projects where you're like, oh, like that's really cute, and then you make it, and then like after you're like, how did I make that? That has happened in several of my videos already. I'm like that Coraline sweater, like I still can't believe I made that Coraline sweater. I think this is just so darling. And at the bottom, as you can see, I did add those little elastics in. That way I can hold it and the box isn't gonna fall out, which is great. Very, very happy with this. If you like my video, give it a good old fashioned thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. You can also follow me on Instagram, which is fancydinoparty, and I try to post, but I mainly post when I'm posting my YouTube videos, so then that way you guys don't miss them. I think that is it, so y'all have a good one.